plenty more games to look for in week 9. We've got some storylines for you here. Storyline number 1, Dave, what do you got?
Latest edition of Bills Chiefs. How is this not a primetime game? I'm pretty sure we're in flex territory at this point. This is not being flexed so that we can watch Commanders Seahawks, I guess. That's okay. But this is your MVP. This is your MVP race right here. Plus 150 for Mahomes, plus 450 for Josh Allen. Both teams are coming off huge blowouts in their favor. Looking pretty great. Predicted pretty super close matchup. 52% for the Bills to cover +2 at home. I would expect a lot more of what we've seen in these games down to the wire, probably a 1 or 2 last-minute lead changes. Big angle in this game will be Isaiah Pacheco is out. We talked about this on Tuesday. Brashard Smith may finally be getting his time. The model's not predicting a explosion game or anything. 20 rushing yards, 17 receiving, 24% touchdown probability, but 1 in 4 there. Rushing game has been the Bills' defensive weakness this season, so could be Brashard Smith's sneaky play, but he's going to be buried behind pretty much everyone else on this depth chart, which is Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce, and they're even pushing Xavier Worthy out of this at this point. So bet with caution on anybody outside the top guys. In that vein, Juju Smith-Schuster plus money at 15 yards. We've got him for 19.3. Sneaky little play there. He's pretty much only catching intermediate to deep passes, not a lot of underneath stuff. So probably wouldn't take more than 1 or 2 targets for him to catch that. And while this game's not on prime time, which is a little bit of a metric, or not metric, but a factor I like to put into these particular matchups, you always have to look at these elite QBs to step up one extra bit when they go head to head, like especially on prime time. But in this rivalry between these two, particularly, there's a little extra fire in these guys. So give me both of them for a touchdown. 38% for Allen, 20% for Mahomes. It's plus 850. Like, give me that.
Dude, Patrick Mahomes in like prime time, big rival type games. It's one of my favorite bets in all of NFL betting. Like he uses his legs more. He just freelances more when he needs to in those spots. I actually, at my personal play at the end of this episode, is going to include Mr. Mahomes to find the end zone. So more on that in a surprise seasonal play later in the show. But I like where we're at, Dave. I like where we started here. Next up for storylines for us, Puka. Oh, do you have something before we go to the next one?
Yeah, Rook, I was just going to say, for as much as Mahomes is running in this offense, like pretty much since week 1, he's consistently at like 350, 400 to score a touchdown, which is understandable. But he's running, I don't know if I'm, without looking at the stats, I'm not going to say as much as Josh Allen, but it's probably not that far behind. And Josh Allen's going to be minus 110, plus 110 every time. So
yeah,
that's it.
Yep.
That's the last
and no Pacheco. Like, I'm not saying they're going to run a quarterback sneak inside the 3, but you've kind of lost your goal line back. They're probably going to run some more creative pass type plays once they're down there. I think it's a really, really smart play. Okay. Yep. Second storyline for the week for us here. Puka is back. The best receiver in the NFL off the start to the season is returning, and our model agrees. 22.8 PPR points projected for Puka Nacua. That is tops in the league, the 6th overall projected player in the entire NFL by points per what was that, PPR points per reception. There you go. I was like possession in my head. Like that'd be PPP, not PPR. Jesus. Okay. Anyways, Puka, 97.2 yards on 7.8 receptions is the projection. 45% chance of finding the end zone according to our model. Now, the one caveat here, he's about to play a Saints defense that has not allowed a 100-yard receiver yet. The line for Puka is at 91.5 on DraftKings. You like this play? You're saying open season on over there?
Yeah, I mean, we've got him almost 100. You don't even see that very often in our model. I think you're going to get a more conservative projection than you're going to get an excessive one, especially when you're pushing 100 yards. But he's over 6 yards over his line in that projection. Doesn't hurt that Devontae Adams is perfectly healthy and been drawing a ton of targets. It's going to draw a ton of attention from the defense as well. Saints, while they haven't let up a 100-yard receiver, they're not, shutting it down in the passing game. They're just largely keeping the top guy from absolutely going off. But you kind of think they're going to feed Puka a little bit here when they come back. They may not have to. That's one thing to consider. They might just roll over this game. But there's just, I don't know, not going to see a ton of competition from the Saints in this game. So if you want to just kind of get a get-right game for Puka, or, just kind of get his feet back under him, seems like the type of game you want to do that. You don't have to attack very deep. He's a target machine, 10, 12, 15 targets in some of these games. And volume is the path to hitting a big over like this.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't think I'm expecting LA to try and like ease him back. I don't think that's what you do when you have the best receiver in the league and a win now window with Matt Stafford, who has consistently made his primary target the best receiver in the league for his entire career. I think that's good value. The discrepancy between our projection and where his line is at on DraftKings right now, about 6-yard difference. That's worth a look for me. All right, you're calling this your trick of the week here in spirit of Halloween here. What do we got?
Yeah, to get a little something in. And honestly, you could probably make the same argument for the other side of this Rams game of the Saints. But I'm going to say the Vikings are the trick of the week this week. And personally, we'll just be avoiding them at pretty much all costs. Carson Wentz is done for the season. J.J. McCarthy likely to start. He started 2 games this season. Justin Jefferson recorded 3 catches for 81 versus the Falcons. And aside from that, no other player topped 44 yards receiving in either game, not even Jefferson in the previous one. He was tied with Aaron Jones for 44 receiving yards in week 1, the last time we saw Aaron Jones besides last week. No Jordan Addison in those games, so they will have a true wide receiver 2 alongside Jefferson for McCarthy to target. But I think this could be a long afternoon for Minnesota. We project Jefferson for 76, so not even up to the mark that he hit with McCarthy. Addison for 50, but perhaps most notably, no one over a 35% probability to score for the Vikings, not on the ground, not in the air. Lions are almost 2 touchdown favorites, I think, 13.5. Just that's a avoid at all costs game. Maybe you'll get some garbage time stuff from Justin Jefferson. Hey, if he starts really slow, see what you can get him for yards later on in the second half. But it's kind of spells disaster on this end, and maybe for the pretty much the rest of the season for the Vikings, if we're being honest.
Mm-hmm. I think that's fair. I think we've been duped by Minnesota enough this year. That's how I feel right now. And for the sake of my own personal emotional festivities this weekend, I hope the Lions are onto something here and can capitalize on the trick of the week. Thank you very much, Dave.